Hey everyone, Jacob with Scooters Lawn Care here in Cape Coral, Florida. Today we are talking about Lanai Lights in 2024. We're going to go over the fixtures themselves, the setup, and finally we're going to go over pricing so you have some understanding of our most recent prices. What does that investment look like into your property? And so there's a lot of cool things you can do with these, and there's a lot of cool different stuff we have. So let's get right into this. So there are three common fixtures we install when we're doing Lanai lighting. Number one is our overhead lights. This is going to be, I have an example beam here. This is if we were going to give someone a demo and you wanted to see what this looked like, this is what we could bring to site. Now, this beam is a strip of LEDs. You can see it's from right here to right here. This is our overhead light that will shine down from the top of the lanai. What I'm holding in my hands is actually a section of lanai beam, and that's where we install the lights too. And so this is very, very clean and easy, and we'll talk about that a little bit more, how these are installed when we get into more of the setup. So there is the overhead light. Then there is this little strip you see here, from here to here. This is the sconce light. You're going to see a diffuser over the top of this. This is going to typically be, roughly this level of your head when you're standing up on the vertical beams of your lanai. So as you look across the lanai, this is exactly where this will be. They are very, very clean. They add ambiance. They're a very, very nice piece. We also, as a new addition to this, when we're doing lanai lighting, we have an up and down fixture. So this fixture is a sconce, is the name if you look up sconces. So we don't have to have the one that just goes out. We can also have the one that lights up and then lights down but doesn't put as much light out. So those are the three current fixtures we're installing, and we really love these fixtures. They offer a lot of cool varieties of colors and different things, and they just offer so much flexibility. With this fixture, you can go in a full spectrum of colors. You can set all of that right from a remote or right from your phone. You can also dim them way down or brighten them way up. It is very, very cool. And that's where you can put in quite a few lights if you're really wanting it to be bright. If you turn it all the way up, you don't have to worry about, is it too bright, because you can always dim it down. We had a lot of overhead lanai lights installed on my first house because I thought it'd be too much. So I wanted to install what I thought would be too much to see if I dimmed it down, if I'd still really, really like it. And it's awesome. I can have it all the way up and turn on bright white if we're wanting to clean up the house after a get together or clean up the kids' stuff around the pool. And then I can dim it way, way down if we want it super, super mellow and we want more of an ambiance, just a hangout vibe for later in the evening. It's really, really cool. Now, for the light fixtures themselves, as we get into setup, this is where we love these installs. We love how they're installed. They are super, super sleek. So this beam right here, this piece, the sconce, this is going to go right in. It's going to snap into the lanai rail. If you look at your rails, there are two grooves. They're for screens, and this light fixture is designed to clip right into that. So there is no drilling. There is no big challenge to get this installed. And it is a very, very clean, low-profile install. This would have a sconce, a diffuser over the front of it, but it's still very, very easy to install with minimal drilling or anything to do to your lanai. Now, if you had a picture frame lanai where it's got the big, wide, open areas where you can see through and you just have a few beams, well, then we have a bracket like what is installed here to allow you to have those grooves for it to snap into. And that still gives us a workaround so we can get that job done. Now, same for the overhead one, the big, long one that is up here. You can see, if I hold this beam like this is very low profile. This stays like this. There's no sconce over it. You don't look up in the sky, so there's no reason to protect the bright bulbs or the bright LED units along this from being too bright like there is if something would be in an area where you'd look straight at it. And so this does the same thing. It utilizes the screen rails for the rope to hold the screen in, and it allows you to just snap this in there. And then we feed the Cat 5 line all the way down the lanai. And then worst case scenario, the most drilling we have to do is right here where we would put a grommet in to take the Cat 5 wire from here to the top side. A lot of times though, we're able to put it through the very end where your overhead beams meet your vertical beams. Very, very sleek install. very, very clean, keeps things well hidden. And what I love about our installs versus some of the other ones I have seen, there are a lot of other fixtures that if you go and you look at the install and you look at other lights that have been done, and they still do a great job, there's nothing wrong with it, but I like how ours keep all the wire up above the lanai running around the main channel. A lot of the other installs you go and see, you'll see that every beam that has a sconce on it has flexible conduit going into the very end of the lanai beam. So if you have a tall lanai, like you have a big concrete raised lanai, you have flexible conduit going up that and then going into the beam, and it's a great install still. It's just a little bit harder to hide. And with our install, it's all hidden up above. It's all out of the way of trimmers and anything else that can damage it. It keeps it clean and it keeps it out of the way of everything. And the only area where you see anything is where the lanai meets the house. That's where we're going to put a relay box up on the top, a waterproof box for our relays to control the system. And that's where we go a little bit more into the setup of the system. The system is going to allow you to have the overhead lights be on one relay and then the side lights, the sconces, on a different relay. If you had a very specific setup, we could potentially do even more relays, and this allows you to control stuff separately. You want your overheads on? Great. Don't want the sides on? Great, we turn those off. You want one brighter, one dimmer? We can do all of those. You want to change colors separately? You've got a favorite sports teams and you want to pick two, one color for the low light, one color for the top light. I see that all the time. They can do that as well. And then when you tie that in with the ability to use the Wi-Fi transmitter that comes with the system, now you can do this beyond just the little remote, and you can use your phone to set all of this up from wherever you are as long as you have internet connection. The system is awesome. It has so much flexibility. It is a very clean install, and it allows you to have a beautiful ambiance and a well-lit area if you want to clean up in the evening. And if you're anything like me, if you have the kids out and everybody's playing and you have friends over and people ate on the lanai and done all this stuff, it is 1,000% easier to just clean it up right at the end and have some people help you while they're there than it is to clean it up the next day when all the food's dried and stuck to the lanai and all the other problems happen and trying to get it cleaned up and it's starting to stink. It just makes the whole thing so much easier. Finally though, like I said, we're going to talk about what is the investment on this product. What is that going to cost for you to make this investment into your lanai and have this awesome ambiance, this awesome outside area that isn't so dim like a lanai typically is? Well, these have a big range. It really depends on how big your lanai is and how many lights you have. But we're going to see anywhere from roughly 2,900 all the way up to 8,000 and 10,000, depending on how much you go. And I know that might sound like a lot, but you have to realize some people have huge lanais that you could put 2 standard size pools in, 3 standard size pools in, and it allows a lot of opportunity for lighting. And so it's a fixture determined price. The 2,900 is going to get you closer to the very low end, a few overhead lights, and then this can go as big as your wildest dreams. And the other piece of this that makes this even more expensive, and another area where we can utilize this that we didn't talk about, is these also can be positioned as dock lights. So now your lanai lights, your sconces, and your overheads can also be controlled with the same remote that controls your dock lights. It can all be congruent and it can all work together. So if you would like some kind of lighting like this, we would love to talk to you. We'd love to go over the benefits, the pros, the cons, the uses, what we really, really like about it, what we know it really works well for, and answer any questions you may have. I'm glad I got to shoot this video and share some of this information with you to make your choice easier. Have a great day.